video will show you how to use the discussions in eTutor. Now, discussions are a great way to have students engage with peers and with yourself, and you can even assign grades to them so they have points allocated. The first thing I normally do is I add it as a tool link. Now, technically speaking, you can access it under your course tools. However, that makes it a little bit different for students, and because they don't have the course management section, they can't access it through there, and it's reliable on you for creating a link for them. So I like to add it onto the menu as a tool link, and you'll find it under discussion board. And you can call this whatever. I'm just going to call it discussions today. And you can make it straight away available to users. As with any item, you can drag and drop it to wherever you want it on your menu. And then we just simply click on the tool link to go to the discussion board. Now, how discussions work is a forum. It's kind of like the umbrella with individual threads of discussion under it. So you can decide if students are allowed to create new threads or only reply to your threads. But first we need to create the umbrella, the forum. So I'm going to call this one Learning Unit 1. And you might put in some instructions here. This forum has all the Unit 1 threads or something like that. You can also add video or anything else that might help students navigate the whole thing. So we can leave it on as available, yes, straight away, or you can make it no if it's still a work in progress. You can put in date restrictions if you want this forum to be only open for a certain time. You can just leave this on a standard view. If you click this, then it means that a student has to create a new thread in order to be able to view the other threads. Now, this might be helpful in some instances, but normally we just want to leave this on standard view. You can decide to mark the forum. In other words, if you want points to be allocated to students when they participate. So let's say, for instance, that this is going to be with 10 points, and I wanted to show a needs marking after maybe every 2 replies from the student. So the student has to be engaged in that forum twice before it will show up in your needs marking status. Right, you can also add a due date. I like due dates because then it pops up on the calendar and your students can see it nicely. You can add a rubric, so like with an assignment or file response questions, you can add a rubric that marks. I have some good examples of rubrics for discussions if you want me to send it to you, and you can just adapt it. We can allow students to subscribe to threads. This is helpful so that whenever there's something new going on into the threads or the forums, then they get a little notification saying that something new has happened there. You can allow them to delete their own posts. So this is quite helpful because then they will be more willing to participate if they know it's not set in stones. You can allow them to edit their own posts. So if they made a mistake, they can come back and edit it. You can allow them to create new threads, but if you only want your students to reply on threads you have created, it might be a good idea to uncheck this one, and I'll just take away the confusion. I find often students create new threads before replying to a current thread because they didn't understand that they had to just go into an existing thread. You can allow file attachments, allow them to reply with quote, allow them to tag the post or rate the post. So if they like something, they can give it 5 stars or whatever. So you can choose your own settings here and then submit. Now, under our first forum here, we'll see that there are no posts yet, nothing yet going on. We click on the forum and now we create a thread. Now remember, the threads are the topics of discussion. So nice way to start a thread is with a question or a shared experience. Students engage well with that. And it can be anything. It might be something to have them get to know each other, get to know you. You can add anything that you can add in any other content area. You'll see your content editor is the same. So you can add images or anything. You can set up nice rules, have netiquette. I also have nice examples of netiquette images that you can use to, make up some rules and things like that. You can add attachments and then submit. Now for a student, they just go into the discussion board. They click on Learning Unit 1 on the thread you want them to reply for, and they just reply on the original, which is the grayed out post reply. And you'll see that the discussion boards work in tier systems, kind of like something you'd see in Facebook. So if I reply in tier original post, let's call this one original post, you'll see that it is flush here with the original post. However, if I reply to this one, it will move a tier down. So I'm just going to say here, reply tier 1. And you'll see that it's indented, and this is replied on that is replied on the original post. So it kind of works in that fashion. If you reply here in tier 2, it will have another indent. So reply tier 2. You'll see it keeps going indented, and I can reply back to this one, etc. But you need not worry about students. They figure this out pretty quickly because they're used to social media. They can rate the post if they want to, delete, quote, edit, anything like that. So any of that is pretty straightforward. Now, if you had it as marked, you can access marked discussion forum here, and you'll see all of the students and all of their posts. Now, as no student has engaged with this, there are 0 posts, but you can mark them all here if there were students already engaged. You can also find it under your needs marking section as you would with anything else. And that is it for discussions.